So as a solo filmmaker and someone who creates content, I spent a lot of time thinking about gear, mainly because when you're packing for trips, I've been spending a lot of time traveling specifically to Europe and also New York. If you haven't seen our collaboration vlog between me and Peace, make sure to check that out. You just end up thinking about what gear should I bring on trips? What gear do I bring on shoots? And you're always looking for ways to A, save on space, but also look for things that are a lot more useful. Now, I'm always searching through Amazon for quirky things that help my workflow, and I'm always on TikTok, Instagram, saving things that look useful. And then a lot of times I'll just buy stuff, try it out, and then if it's useful, I like to share it on this channel. Today, I wanted to share with you a few things that I've actually been using over the last few months, things that I think are pretty solid, pretty good bangs for your buck, and things that I brought on my recent travels that I've been using both in my client and personal work. All right, so first is an audio or field recorder that looks pretty funny because of the dead cat that I added to it. It's the Zoom M2 mic track, which is a field recorder and mic combo. It's basically a really nice microphone that you can hold out in the field, and it's an alternative to those DJI or Rode kind of creator mics that you see all the time people holding. Now, the reason that I wanted to try out this specific microphone slash field recorder is the price point. The price point is pretty cheap. I got this for around $80 for a 32-bit float microphone that you can use out in the wild. It's got a 3.5mm jack and a USB-C output. So if you'd like to connect this directly to your audio source, or for instance, like your iPhone or your MacBook, you can easily record audio through that. The way that I use this is it's a little bit tedious, but basically it has a micro SD card slot. So when I'm recording, I just go ahead and make sure to click record. And as I record my audio, I just sync it up later to my visuals. It's not the easiest way, like it doesn't directly sync up to your camera. So if I'm using the FX3, I can't just directly sync it up to FX3. I mean, I guess I could if I just had a really long wire. But for the price point, this is a great microphone for street interactions, street interviews, A-roll, when you're talking out in the field and you want something that's really just a better form factor than a small either DJI or Rode kind of clip-on mic that you just hold in your hand. The audio quality on this is spectacular. It's really good, especially with this crazy dead cat that I added on for wind protection. Without the dead cat, it actually looks pretty reasonable. It looks like a regular microphone, but I like to keep on this dead cat, especially in super windy situations. It looks a little ridiculous, but it's a really fun piece to add to your content, and it really kills the wind really well. It does a great job. I was looking through a few different options from Zoom. They're very well known for their audio recording field recorders, and I ended up choosing this just because, again, it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other alternatives for around $80. It's one of those things where you can try it and not feel too bad if you don't end up using it that much. But currently, I'm really liking this microphone. It sounds great when I use the free voiceover preset that I have on my website. It works really well with the audio from this. Again, it's 32-bit float, so there's a lot of flexibility in post. And yeah, it just sounds great. It feels great. It's something that I use in my sponsored content, my personal content, and this YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. Next up is this DIY Magsafe bite mount that I've been using for POV content. Now, I looked a long time through Amazon for the perfect bite mount. Basically, bite mounts are a little bit difficult because you need something that's really easy to bite onto. You don't want like something that's really large that stuffs your mouth. That doesn't sound great, but if you know what I mean, you want something that's very small, easy to grab on, and it's got the minimal amounts of parts. This bite rig is basically a GoPro bite mount that I've attached to a MagSafe attachment. So this allows you to easily attach your iPhone or whatever phone you have that has a MagSafe capability to this bite mount, which allows you to shoot in either vertical, or if you just rotate it, it allows you to shoot horizontal content all in POV style. Now, hands-free POV content is really useful in BTS capture. So a lot of my reels that I've been posting on my social media have been utilizing this BTS content. It's really simple because I just toss this in my bag. It's super small, and I quickly just, when I need a BTS shot, I just attach my iPhone. I don't need an additional camera. I don't need something that adds to my overall flow. I've got my camera or my phone in my pocket at all times. So I just pop that out, pop out the bite mount, attach it real quickly, press record, and then usually I'm shooting like the 0.5 lens so that it allows me to get a really wide immersive field of view. And it's interesting to see POV content when you see your hands because it's a lot more immersive. It makes it feel like you're really first person there. And interestingly enough, I couldn't find any pre-made MagSafe bite mounts or bite rigs for POV content. They were all either chest or head mounts. And I think the bite mount allows for head swivel movement, and it really allows you for the most immersive field of view because it's the closest to your actual eye line. So it's something that I really like to use. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to manipulate because you can't talk as you're biting it down, and also your jaw gets kind of tired over time, which those are both negatives. But for the price, I think I paid $15 for the bite mount and then like $15 for the MagSafe attachment, which you just kind of screw in together. They're attachable. So for an overall price of $30 for this bite mount, which is DIY, I think it's a great option to have in your kit, especially if you're solo shooting. If you just want BTS capture, it's a great option to have and something that is a no-brainer. I always toss it in my bag at all times, and I've always got it on me in case I want to capture that additional content. Next up is this really easy MagSafe Tripod. Now, this is similar to the bite mount where you utilize the iPhone to capture typically either BTS content, or sometimes as I was filming my ProRes RAW or ProRes 422 HQ videos on the iPhone that I did a series about recently. When you're shooting Apple log, sometimes you just want locked off stationary shots, and this tripod is really nice. It's really light. It's really easy to pop open and carry in your bag because of its size factor. It's something that you don't have to worry about too much adding weight to your overall kit. So a lot of times I just have this in my backpack at all times. And if I need a quick iPhone shot, either for BTS or again, if you want to do a little cinematic stuff with Apple Log 2, it's pretty sturdy for what it is. It's just kind of like a plastic cheap tripod, but for what it is, it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't wobble too much. The initial, like when you set your phone, it wobbles just a little bit, but after a few seconds, it really levels itself out and it's really easy to use. Again, MagSafe is really useful. You can do it for vertical or horizontal content. You just really quickly swivel the iPhone. It's really nice. And I think it was, again, like something like $25 total for the tripod. I'm sure you can find cheaper ones, but the one I got, I'll link everything down below. Real quickly before I hop into the next piece of gear, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, AEJuice. So if you edit in Premiere Pro, After Effects, or even Davinci Resolve, AEJuice makes it really easy to add clean and customizable transitions with just a drag and drop. They've got plugins that you can install right into your software. For instance, I use the native version of their plugin for Premiere Pro, and their assets like the seamless transitions are super fast. You don't need any pre-rendering, and it updates live on the timeline. Right now, they're running an extended sale on their I Want It All bundle, which includes the seamless transitions and over 130 other tools like effects, overlays, and titles. They're great to use in your YouTube, social, or even client projects. And with the link down below in my description, you get an extra 10% off, no code needed. It applies automatically, but if you want, you can manually use Gakuyen, G-A-K-U-Y-E-N, at checkout for the 10% off. They've also got a bunch of free plugins to try, which is a great way to test it out before diving into the full bundle. So whether you're editing fast-paced content or cinematic breakdowns, AEJuice is one of those tools that just makes your timeline flow a little bit smoother. Check out the deal while it's live. All the links will be down in the description below. Thanks again, AEJuice, for sponsoring today's video. Up next is the Evergoods Civic Access pouch. And this is, I believe this is a 2-liter version. It's basically a pouch that you can carry various accessories on the go. I saw this on a few different YouTube channels and I wanted to try it out. So I purchased this, and this is abbreviated as like the Cap 2L or Cap 2 pouch. Basically, it's just a clamshell pouch, but what makes this really nice is its design. When you open up the top, it sits flush and it basically creates a little stand. So I like to have my SSDs, my Samsung T7 or T9 shields, and I just have a bunch when I'm traveling. So I like to have these in my pouch. It's got a bit of stability and sturdiness, so you feel a little bit more reassured because it protects the insides of the pouch, but also when you open it up, it's really easy to work out of this pouch when you're traveling. So in the hotel in New York, I just have this open, I just pop it open and then have my SSDs already connected inside and just run that cable to my MacBook when I want it to work. The build of the pouch is really nice. The zippers are really nice. It's just a really well-made pouch. Sometimes you're looking for a pouch that really protects your items when you throw them into your bags, especially someone like me who carries a lot of gear but doesn't have the most organization. Having a pouch like this is a really, really nice option, and the ability for it to stand on its own and then open up almost as if it's like a little tray when you're traveling. It's a really nice pouch. That's all I can say. I purchased this again on Japanese Amazon for like $67. There might be a sale at different points. It's for what it is. I think it's a good price point for the quality of the pouch. Sometimes you get pouches that are a little too flimsy. This again, it's really nice to have and I suggest you check it out. Next up is the Moft Tripod wallet. Now, I worked with Moft on a series of sponsored content last month for specifically the iPhone, and this isn't sponsored, but I've just been using the Moft Tripod wallet since I actually did that sponsored segment. My favorite is this little travel attachment. It's basically a MagSafe attachment that goes onto the back of your iPhone. It allows for like 2 cards, and then the great thing is that once you open it up, it becomes a really small travel tripod. And this is great, A, for setting up shots and doing different things when you're traveling, capturing BTS content again on your phone. You can set this up on random places that are level. It's really nice to shoot both vertical and horizontal content again because it's MagSafe, and it allows for a couple of cards. So basically it's a wallet slash tripod. It's something that I like to have in my backpack because basically it allows for you to have a tripod at all times. It's just a nice piece of gear. I think they run for around $30, $35. So for the price, again, it's not too crazy. It's really useful, and I found myself using it way more than I thought I would. So again, basically another tripod, but something that's really useful and pretty cheap for what it is. Next up is this set of macro close-up filters that I purchased. They're all 82mm filter thread filters that allow for any lenses to adjust the minimum focusing distance. So basically it turns most of your lenses into macro lenses. I got this specific set because they had a different, I think it's like 0.5 plus 1, 1.5. There's like 4 different levels of magnification. I really like the +2, the biggest bulbous element of all these filters. I got this entire set for, I think I paid like $20 or like $24 or something ridiculously cheap. But basically they just screw onto the front of your lens and allows you to capture macro shots. And we use a lot of these for a couple reels and the vlog in New York. I like to pair this macro filter with the 35mm or the 50mm lens. That's kind of like the sweet spot. And it basically just allows for really cool macro shots, and then it has a really nice curve, kind of like out of focus, warped effect on the edges, which if you're looking for a really clean macro filter, there are other ones that don't have this bulbous element. I was looking for this really stylized effect. I think it's really fun to have on specific shots, or if you're looking for something really stylized. I don't carry the entire set when I travel. I usually just use the +2 or the largest one. I just pop it in my backpack. It's just a piece of glass, and I don't worry too much about it getting scratched that much because, I mean, it's a cheap filter and then you can always replace it. And again, it's got a really stylized look. So the more scratches sometimes on the edges makes it look even cooler. Next up is this handheld split diopter I got on Amazon, and it's a 100mm diameter, but it's basically a circle that's cut in half. It looks kind of just like half of the macro filter I just spoke about, but the great thing about this is it's got a handle attached to it, and the handle on the split diopter allows for you to wave it in front of your lens, and you get a lot of cool in-camera effects. There are different companies that make these handheld diopters or handheld filters, but a lot of them are really expensive, to be honest, for what they are. I got this on Amazon for, I think, $35, $30 or something. There's a bunch of different makers, and basically they're just glass elements. I mean, you could even make these yourself if you had glasses or wine glasses or different pieces of see-through material that you just attach kind of like a handle to. I'm not saying that you have to purchase this specific diopter, but I actually ended up using this on a stylized piece I did for a soccer company called Icarus and their kit launch, and it came out really fun, and it was something that I liked to use. I really wanted to test out this handheld diopter because I've seen a lot of in-camera effects that different DPs, different production companies use, and they look pretty simple, pretty easy to do with the sort of like filters. So I wanted to test it out. Again, this handheld split diopter, this specific one, you don't have to purchase. There are a bunch of different ones, but it's a lot of fun to do these in-camera effects. And then finally, something really fun is this vintage Japan Post envelope cutter. Now, I live in Japan and I go to antique markets all the time, and I'm always looking for fun, quirky things. And this is something I came across recently. I purchased this for 100 yen at the market, and I found them on Mercari, or I think Yahoo auctions or different places actually have these. These used to be issued by JP Post, which is the Japan, it's basically like USPS or UPS for Japan. And basically what it is it's got a little blade on the inside that allows you to quickly slide and open envelopes. I know you get a lot of mail. You get a lot of envelopes, you get a lot of boxes. I got a lot of mail, and I was always looking for something interesting to open my mail with. And this is just something that's really fun. And these are little quirky things I love to collect. As you can tell, I'm not a minimalist, I'm a maximalist. I have a lot of shit everywhere. If you're looking for a fun gift, a cool gift for a friend, and if you can find one of these, I mean, I've purchased like 5 of these since because they're so cheap and they're so fun as like gifts for friends. So if you can find one of these, they're really, really fun to have, and they're really great gifts. So things like this, are my favorite. A little extra piece of gear that I actually wanted to ask you, and if you have any recommendations, please leave them down below, is I ended up purchasing another ProGrade SD card, which is a V90 SD card. You need a specific speed of SD card on, let's say like the FX3 or different cameras to shoot the highest sort of 10-bit 422 quality of videos. And I've been purchasing these ProGrade cards for a while now. They're not the cheapest, but they're also not the most expensive. But I just wanted to ask you if you have any recommendations on SD cards for specifically like the FX3. I don't want to use CF Express cards because then I need another attachment on my MacBook to quickly read it, especially when you're traveling. Like I just want to use the SD card reader on my MacBook. So SD card is preferred. I don't need the highest level CF Express and that sort of stuff. I know Sony Tough cards are great. I've seen a lot of recommendations on that, but if you have any recommendations on different SD cards or just recommendations in general for what size SD cards, I've been using 256. I kind of maybe want to get 512s. I don't know. So yeah, those are a few different pieces of gear that are probably a little bit non-traditional, things that aren't in the usual list of items, but they've been things that I've been using very heavily, both in my personal work, maybe my client work, and then at home, things that are a lot of fun and I'd highly recommend you check out if you get a chance. If you have any questions on anything, I'll have all of these or what I can be linked down below in the description if you want to check them out. If you like my color grade, my sound design, I've got different presets, please check out my shop. It'll also be linked down below. It's a great help to the channel. And if you made it to the end of the video, I know you're a real one. Please leave the word gear so I know you made it to the very end. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.